This is a Crack House Chronicles production.
Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles, your favorite true crime podcast. I am Donnie, and with me is a man that says today it cost over $400,000 to raise a child, and that's just for the alcohol. It's Dale.
Ain't that the damn truth?
That's right.
Get it by the truckload now.
Yeah, you got to have it delivered.
Yeah, have kids, they say. It'll be fun, they say.
Yeah, just, well, they said the best part about having kids is making them.
I won't even comment.
Okay. That's just what I heard.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
What's going on today, dude?
You know, same old, same old.
Same old, same old. Back in the Crack House.
Back in the house.
Doing an episode.
Whew.
Ooh, what you got going on today?
Oh, that and a box of Kleenex is okay. We're going to need them today. All right. But anyway, that did the good part. Hey, look at that.
Hey, got that clap.
We do got a clap over with a brand new Apple Podcast 5-star review. Yes. And this comes from Destiny L. Queen. I don't know what the L for is, but La Queen, maybe?
Maybe it's, maybe she likes us. It's L for likes us.
Okay. Yeah, well, if we're going to do that, we'll just say love. How about that?
Okay, love,
Right,
yeah.
Anyway, it says, thank you. That ain't all of it. That's just the title.
Okay.
Okay. Found you guys while listening to updates from different podcasts about I Should Agree. I grew up in Shelby and the surrounding areas, and it's a case that has always stuck with me. Realizing you are locally based makes me feel more connected to the podcast, and I will be tuning in every week for a new episode.
Wow, that's amazing.
So thanks so much, Destiny La Queen. Okay, I'll just say
Destiny
L Queen.
Destiny L Queen.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
We appreciate that. Thanks so much for taking the time to drop us a 5-star review and put that in there.
That is amazing. We
makes a big
appreciate that
difference.
so much.
Yeah, we do. We love it.
Yep. Anybody else wants to be like Destiny L Queen, you can go to Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star rate and review.
Yes.
And we'll give you a shout out.
We will.
We sure will. And you can also go to the store page, get you something cool to wear, get you a t-shirt, get you a cap, a mug, something cool,
Yeah,
stickers.
Stickers, yeah.
Yeah,
Hit us up. We'll send you some stickers.
Yeah, by the time this episode airs, that stuff probably won't be on sale. But check that every once in a while because the stuff does go on sale and you can get it cheaper than the regular price.
Yeah, if you like being a cheapskate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I like finding stuff cheap.
I do too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, speaking of stickers, I gave Ricky Rackman, from old Headbangers Ball days.
Yeah.
I saw him last night at Stephen Piercy concert, and I gave him a couple of Crack House stickers.
Oh, man. I hope he put that on his cases and stuff.
Yeah, or something.
Toy cases.
Yeah. Stick him on his motorcycle helmet while he's riding his 1,000-mile ride.
Or throw them in the trash can on the way out.
Probably. Yeah. Who the hell is this guy?
Well, at least he had them in his hand at one time.
He did. I didn't take a picture to prove it, but I do have a witness.
Okay. Well, that's the main thing.
Yeah, he was a pretty cool guy. Met him, met Steven, met Blas Elias, who was the drummer. It was a fun night.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you had fun.
With my buddy Mondo.
Yeah.
Edward Braswell. Kim was going to go, but she didn't. She wasn't feeling it. She had to get up early this morning, so me and Mondo went. We had a good time. But
that's awesome.
Enough about me.
That's
roll.
it. All right, Dale. After this short break, we're going to get going this episode, bud.
Okay, let me go get the Kleenex.
Ever since Mom and Dad found out that Donald Duck is 100% pure orange juice, they've been acting kind of funny. I mean, I know it tastes good, but really.
Honest, a giant green gorilla drank it all up.
Oh, please. We don't know what to do with them anymore. Oh, well, maybe it's just a phase.
Donald Duck, the 100% pure orange juice, now in the easy open juice block that fits squarely in your freezer.
All right, Dale, we are back. And Dale, that little clip we just played was from a Donald Duck orange juice commercial.
It was?
Yeah, and the little girl doing that voice from that commercial, her name is Judith Barsi.
Mm-hmm.
Judith Eva Barsi.
Did you ever drink Donald Duck orange juice?
I remember it, but I don't know if I drunk it or not.
I didn't think it was that good. It was like supposed to be the, pure, but it was sour, I thought.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, that ain't about me and the orange juice, but I just had to put that in there because I was like, you always wanted it because I had Donald Duck on the
Of
case.
course.
It was like, because I love orange juice, but yeah.
I don't remember if I drunk it or not.
Wasn't my favorite.
I knew I drank a lot of orange juice, but I don't remember if I drank that particular brand or not. I may have.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a long time ago. But yeah, we were talking about a little girl by the name of Judith Eva Barsi, man.
Mm-hmm.
And just a little bit of background on her and her family. Judith, she was born on June 6th, 1978 in Los Angeles, California. And she was the daughter of Joseph and Maria Barsi. And both her parents, Joseph and Maria, they were immigrants
Yep.
to the U.S. They had actually left Hungary in search of a better life, and they had left.
Yeah, there's a lot of war going on over there. Man.
It was, yeah. And they fled to the U.S. following the 1956 uprising from the Hungarian People's Republic. This is when the Soviets had occupied Hungary. And so they immigrated.
They weren't fleeing together. Actually, they didn't even know each other at this point.
No, but they had actually left and met over here in the United States.
Yeah, which is odd to me, in California.
Yeah, met in California. Maria, Judith's mom, she was working at a restaurant. She was a waitress. And Joseph would frequent this restaurant. And this restaurant was a Hungarian restaurant, which made it more, appealing, yeah.
Yeah. So apparently there was lots of immigrants coming over at this point to California if they had a restaurant based on that. You think? I mean, somewhere to hang out.
I would think so.
Yeah.
But Maria was working out as a waitress, and Joseph would frequent this restaurant. And when he would come in,
I think it was like a restaurant bar, right?
Could have been.
Yeah, because, he would come in and go drinking, I think. I don't think he was coming there to eat a lot.
But when he would come in and pay for his bill, he would pay with $100 bills.
Yeah, man.
And this appealed to Maria.
You think?
I think so,
It'll get his attention on it.
Yeah.
So she had her eye set on him.
She did. She really did, because he was working. He was a plumber, and he would come in and pay with big bills. So,
big bills.
And she was wanting to do good, because when she was in Hungary, she aspired to be an actress. She loved the Hollywood life that was portrayed to her. That's what she was wanting to do. And when she came over here, that's why she moved to California, to hopefully
get closer to that.
Be a part of that in some way or another.
Now, both of these folks have been married before, right?
They have.
Yeah.
Joseph had been married before and actually had 2 kids from another marriage, but they had split up and divorced.
Right.
Yeah. So they hooked up and started dating, and eventually got married.
Yep.
And shortly after, that's when they had Judith.
Yeah, I think it was 10 months later.
Yeah, it wasn't long at all.
No.
But from the very get-go, like we talked about, Maria, she was wanting to be part of the Hollywood scene and get into acting or something of that effect.
Yes.
But when Judith was born, she recognized some potential in Judith.
Well, I think she was going to put that potential in Judith.
Yeah, very true.
But she also came to it really quick, so everything helps. It's kind of lining up. Even though she had relatives that, would say her brother or her uncle or somebody was telling her, I don't know why you're doing that, because, it's like 10,000 to 1 that anything is going to happen here.
Yeah, that was Maria's brother that told her that.
Okay, yeah. So she kept aspiring to do what she's doing, to try to put her in the right place and do everything she could to make it happen.
Yeah, I believe from the first time, Judith was able to understand walking and talking, she placed this on her to be able to act a certain way and to
use great posture and speak very clearly and enunciate her words, and everything she did just to basically train her, I guess.
Yeah.
And then to take her and put her in the right place, she actually would take her to a skating rink there in California, and it was like an ice skating rink.
Yeah.
And take her there very frequently, and it was one of the very few ice skating rinks around, so she knew that talent agents were there, because a lot of times they come and film in this location and other stuff. So basically putting people in the right place.
That's right.
Yeah.
And her being at this ice skating rink, she actually caught the eye of some movie people, movie producers and stuff. And they talked to her mother, Maria, and invited her to have Judith audition for some things.
Yes.
Yeah. So this was great.
So this is how it all got started.
It is. And they started her on some commercials, and that Donald Duck orange juice commercial was her first gig. Yeah. So she was doing several commercials. She did McDonald's commercials.
She did lots of
Campbell's soup commercials.
Yeah, that was a funny one about that. Said, a lot of these things, good and bad, come from this stuff. But she said having to do so many takes doing this tomato soup commercial, she never ate tomato soup again in her life. Like she had enough of that. So I'm sure, we didn't get the right shot. You hadn't just eaten that soup all day long. I can get it.
Yeah. So early in Judith's career, she'd done over 70 commercials. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she kept getting noticed by the movie people and the TV people.
Right.
And she was invited to be on a made-for-TV movie. And this movie was called Fatal Vision. And it came out in 1984. And this is where Judith had the role of Kimberly McDonald. And this Kimberly McDonald was the daughter of a convicted murderer Jeffrey McDonald.
Jeffrey McDonald.
Yeah, a North Carolina case that we've talked about doing at some point or another.
I guess we need to do it now.
I guess we need to do it now. But yeah, Judith played the part of Jeffrey McDonald's daughter, Kimberly.
Right.
Yeah. So which might come into, a little foreshadowing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic, actually.
It's very ironic.
Way it ends up, yeah.
Yeah. But her performance in this movie was really praised for her maturity and in depth of her ability to be able to handle this complex and serious subject matter, Dale.
Yes.
Yeah. And this role also opened the door to more significant opportunities in both television and film.
Yeah, and she ended up doing a lot more than I even thought when we started digging into this, how many TV roles and stuff and movie spots and stuff she did in her young life.
She had spots on Growing Pains, Cheers, The Twilight Zone. She had a spot on one of the episodes of Love Boat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different things, man.
Pretty cool.
Even from dramatic parts to comedic roles.
Yep.
Wide range of stuff. So she was going places, man.
Yeah. She was very good.
Yeah.
They loved her on because she was easy to work with and she was smart and done it in a very, very brilliant in her roles.
Yeah. Now, Judith, she was short in stature for her age.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was getting on up to about 9 years old, but she looked like she was 5 or 6 years old.
Right.
She was actually taking hormone shots to help her growth. She had some kind of growth deficiency or something.
Yeah, I think at her tallest, she was like 3'8".
Yeah.
You know.
But she was very mature, and she was able to play the parts of these younger roles.
Which is a big plus.
Yeah.
Because you're more experienced, you know what you're doing, and you can play a role younger than yourself, so that comes in handy in Hollywood.
Yeah, and it would open a lot of doors for you.
Correct.
Yeah. And Judith, her doing all these commercials and TV shows, she was making big bucks.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
At the time, in the early 80s, she was bringing home over $100,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah. And in today's money, that's over $250,000 a year.
Pretty good.
Yeah, just for a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Doing
That's
great.
Crazy, ain't it?
And she was actually able to buy her family a home.
Yes.
A really nice home there.
Well, I guess they bought her a home with her money.
Yeah, that pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. And Judith's mom, she was really helping her daughter do these things and getting all these roles and stuff, man.
Yes.
But in addition to her work in film, Judith was recognized for her contributions to TV. She was actually nominated for several Young Artist Awards. And this was a testament to her talent and the impact she had on the industry at a very young age. So she was going places, man.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But behind the scenes, Dale, with her family life, it was totally...
Wasn't so glamorous, was it?
No, it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't. It was marked with turmoil, man.
Yeah.
Her father, Joseph, he was an abusive and controlling man.
Very much so.
Who often directed his anger and frustrations toward his family.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, and the abuse was both physical and emotional. And it created a toxic environment that affected every aspect of little Judith's life, man.
Yeah, it seemed like the more successful she got, the more he resented it. It was kind of weird. Like you had said earlier, it was like he wanted to be in total control, and I felt like he could feel it slipping away for some reason. But I think it was more in his head than anything, and that was his worst enemy. He's drinking a lot, and he would probably just get in his own head about thinking, well, they're going to be successful and they're going to leave me. But I think he did the same stuff in his first marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Joseph, his life when he was young was rocked with turmoil.
Yes. Very much so.
He was pretty much abandoned by his mother and his father.
Yeah, he never knew his father, and then he was abandoned by his mother at a very young age as well.
Yeah.
And then back in Hungary in those years, not having a father, it was looked down on bad, and he was always picked on and stuff. So, it always is something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's as much not having a father, because his father just run out on him. But I guess if your father got killed in the war, it'd be different. But if your father just running out on you,
he didn't have one.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just
picked on a lot.
Yes.
He was, yeah. So I guess he thought everybody was just going to leave him.
Yeah.
He pretty much had to raise himself, too.
Yeah. So that was ingrained in him right there. He just, I don't know, insecure, I guess.
Yeah.
What I'm looking for.
Very true.
But still don't give him the right to do what he's doing.
But the signs of domestic abuse in the Barsi home were evident to those who knew the family.
Yes.
And Joseph Barsi's violent behavior and controlling nature were well known, and they just couldn't hide it. The neighbors kept seeing it.
Well, hell, when he's telling all his coworkers he's going to kill his wife all the time. I mean,
Yes.
there's always, one of these days I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her. It was just weird to me.
Yeah, he would tell his coworker that I'm gonna kill my wife.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to kill that bitch. I mean, that's what he would say.
And the coworker would ask him, "What about your little girl? What are you gonna do about her?"
Why would you do that? What would you going to do? Oh, I had to kill her too.
Yeah.
What?
Even Joseph in his previous marriage, he would threaten them of killing them and burning the house down.
Yeah, yeah.
That seemed like his way out.
Yeah, his daughter from the first marriage said that everything was the same way then. And she had came to visit him at one time at some point and said when she walked in it looked like she was looking at her own life.
All over
when
again.
she was little, yeah, because it's the same way. He hadn't changed at all.
Yeah. But Judith's mom, Maria, she attempted to seek help on several occasions. She would reach out to friends and even contact social services. But Joseph's threats and manipulation made it difficult for her to take any action on this, man. And the family's isolation and fear kept them trapped in a cycle of abuse over and over.
Yeah, for sure.
It did.
It's pitiful.
But the tensions in the family reached a boiling point. Judith's mom, Maria, she had made plans to leave Joseph and to seek a fresh start for herself and Judith. But Joseph's threats and erratic behavior made it difficult for her to escape.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it. At one point, even she called the law and called the authorities and let them know, this guy's doing this and he's violent and he's drunk and he does all this stuff, and they come out and check, and then they go, well, we don't see any signs of physical abuse, so they just dropped it. So she finally got up the guts to reach out to somebody to get some help, and they just kind of shrugged it off and left.
Yeah.
So what do you do, Because there's a lot of people say, well, all this stuff and all these signs and nobody done anything to help them. Well, she tried to do stuff and pretty much just fell on deaf ears,
Yeah, that's right. And Maria had even found out that Joseph was seeing another woman.
Yeah.
And he'd actually gave that other woman a necklace and a ring.
Yeah.
And she was like, maybe this is my way out.
Right.
And she would stop cleaning the house and just let things go. Maybe he wouldn't want to come home.
Yes, at one point where, his oldest daughter had came by and looked at the house, said, good Lord, what's going on? Let's clean this up. She goes, no. Knowing that Joseph was kind of he wanted everything neat and tidy, she just started to leave everything just wherever it was, and hopefully he would just get sick of it and leave.
Yeah.
And go be with this other woman that she knew about. And I think actually at this point, when this part, is kind of later in it, but there was some stuff going on. They were looking into some stuff and had her case open on this stuff. But when she found out about this other woman, she kind of quit everything on the other side. Hopefully he would just go ahead and leave and they wouldn't have to go through none of this.
Yeah. But Judith's career, her success increased.
Yes.
More and more. And her father, Joseph, his alcohol became increasingly more.
Oh, yeah.
And he got more angry and repeatedly threatened to kill himself, his wife, and his daughter.
Uh-huh.
And he was arrested 3 times for drunk driving.
Mm.
And Judith was subject to both physical and sexual abuse by him.
Mm.
So it's getting deeper, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
But when Maria reported Joseph all this, he actually reported stopped drinking.
Yeah.
But continued to threaten Maria and Judith with violence, and
which
even including to burn the house down.
Which don't make any sense to
Yep.
me. I mean, I don't know.
And it was also at one point, Maria had gotten a telegram from a relative in Hungary that somebody had died.
Yeah.
A relative had died in Hungary. But she wasn't at home to get the telegram. Joseph was there.
Yeah, she was out with an audition, doing an audition with Judith.
Yeah, and he just threw the note away.
He threw it in the trash because he was scared that if she read it, she would leave to go to Hungary and not come back.
Yeah.
It's him. Basically, this whole thing is because he's in his own head.
That they're going to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Quit being such an asshole, and maybe they won't leave.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, you're doing it to yourself. Is what you're doing.
Yeah. But as a result of all this abuse and stuff, little Judith, she started gaining weight. And she even developed some compulsive disorders and behaviors. She even at one point started plucking out her eyelashes.
Yeah. And when she got rid of all her eyelashes, she started plucking out the whiskers on her cats.
Yeah.
And it's like some kind of obsession thing or whatever. What do you call it?
It's a compulsive.
It's a condition.
Yes,
yeah, there you go.
It's a compulsive behavior.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, getting back before we get too far, that telegram you're talking about, when she got back home, her brother had called her and was wanted to discuss what was going on. She had no clue. And that's when he broke down. Well, he didn't break down. He's got her and dug it out of the trash and gave it to her, and she was really pissed off about that.
Yeah. And there was at one point, she was out there in the yard playing with a kite her mom had got her.
Yeah, she'd been begging for this special kite for months, they say.
Yeah, and she was out there playing with it, and he heard her out there. He was in the house. He heard her out there playing and giggling.
Having a good time.
Yeah, and he came out there and took the kite away from her.
Yeah, saying, you're just going to spoil this child to death.
Yeah.
And she just started screaming, what, are you going to be careful? You're going to tear up my kite. Please don't tear up my kite.
Well,
What do?
He tore it up.
Tore it all in as many pieces as he could tear it up and
Yeah.
and threw it on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, dude, the only reason you're living in this house is because this little girl, and you can't let her have a damn kite.
Yeah.
A kite. I mean, come on.
Yeah, the little girl had no kind of life at all.
No, because she didn't get to go to regular school, and she really missed that. She missed her friends. She didn't have a lot of friends her age to hang out with, unless she just happened to be in something on a set that had other children her age, And then sometimes they would do that, and they would invite them back to their trailer, and their mom would sit there, and they would read books and stuff and have a good time. But other than that, she didn't really have a life.
No. Even when she did go to school at her regular school when she was at home, she had a few friends that would say that she was just a great kid and just loved life.
Yes.
Bubbly and happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, even though all this was going on at
Behind
home.
the scenes, yeah.
So you're thinking, man, she was the actor's actor, wasn't she?
Very true, yeah. Now, Dale, it was in 1986. Judith, she got invited to be in the movie Jaws Revenge.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a big franchise.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and she got to be part of this movie. And she was going to play Martin Brody's granddaughter in this movie.
Yeah, even though he's dead in the movie.
Yeah, but still a pretty big role.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so her and her mom, they got to go to the Bahamas for 2 months
Yeah, buddy.
and filming Jaws the Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before they left to go to the Bahamas to film Jaws the Revenge,
Yeah, on location.
yeah, Joseph came into Judith's bedroom
Yes.
and put a knife to her throat.
What a guy.
Yeah,
Piece of trash.
he told her, if you don't come back, I will kill you.
Yeah, and cut your throat.
Can you imagine being a 9-year-old kid and your dad holding a knife to your throat?
No, and you what choice you got? You're going to work.
Yeah. Man.
It's pitiful, man. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, very pitiful. But,
I'd like to have a couple minutes with this dude.
yeah. But nonetheless, Judith and her mom, they packed and they left to go to the Bahamas.
Yes.
And they were down there filming Jaws for 2 months. And during this time, Judith's mom, Maria, she would talk to other parents on set and talk to different people about the abuse they were being subjected to at home.
Right. And yeah, by this time, I mean, they had talked about it before, but by this time it was pretty much out in the open. She was just telling anybody who would listen. And I think she was telling so many people and talking about it so much, they were basically like, oh, here she comes again with that story, which is sad.
Yeah. But Maria had reported these threats and stuff to the police at one point. And the police, like I said, didn't find any signs of abuse, so they couldn't do anything. So she did have to vent out to other people. So when they wrapped up filming in the Bahamas, they were there for about 2 months.
Yes.
They didn't go home.
No.
They flew to New York
Yes.
to see Maria's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with him for a little bit. And Joseph had found out
Somehow.
that they were there in New York.
Yes.
And he called her brother's house.
He did.
He called and was talking to Maria. Then he got Judith on the phone.
Yes.
Yeah. And reminded her.
Yeah, when Judith was on the phone, and all of a sudden she just starts screaming and squalling and running to the other room, and then she went in there and she found out that he had reminded her about remember the part where I told you, if you don't come home, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on, dude.
God.
This girl's, 9, 10 years old maybe?
Yeah.
No, 9-year-old about this time.
Yeah, about 9 years. A little over 9.
Yeah.
Between 9 and 10.
Come on, man.
And hearing that.
Hey, what's she going to do, walk home? I mean, she has no choice in this thing, pretty much.
No.
Of what's going on. And maybe she don't even know what's going on. Maybe she don't know why we went to Uncle, whatever his name was, house.
No. Probably don't.
I guess I should know his name, but apologize for that.
But they did eventually go back home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they went back home. And the verbal abuse got even more intense, man.
Yep.
It did. And there was a spokeswoman for the Children's Services later said that the agency had actually contacted Maria, who said that Maria had a plan of action because she had rented an apartment in Panorama City.
Yeah.
Without him, Joseph, knowing about it.
Correct.
And little by little, they would take things to this apartment.
Yeah, they had a plan to get out.
They did. Without Joseph knowing, they would take little things at a time and stay at the regular house. And then when he wasn't there at work, he would take a few things and he wouldn't notice.
Yes.
Yeah. But the child services were involved, but them seeing that she had a plan of action and was wanting to leave, that's when the case was dropped.
Yeah, I think this goes back to where she was letting the house get messed up and all this, and she knew about this other lady at the time too. So she was kind of hoping it would play out by itself to help her get out.
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I think she was working on one end and hoping on the other.
Yeah.
Trying to get away from this guy.
But then Judith got a part in The Land Before Time.
Yes.
She played the part of Ducky. Yep, yep, yep.
Yep, yep, yep.
That was her famous lines from that movie.
Right. She was a real bubbly character. Everybody loved Ducky.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
And it's kind of a film about, dinosaurs going across the plains looking for their family. It's everything, man. All these roles she plays is so ironic of what happened
to her life, man.
So
it is. Yeah.
You know.
And then she got a role in All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yeah, she did the voice of Anne Marie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was an orphan child.
Mm-hmm.
And another big part in that movie was played by Burt Reynolds.
Yes.
Yeah. Played
Charlie
the dog. Yeah. So it was a big role for her. And it was at some point in this movie she was going to have to sing a song in this movie.
Now, both of these movies are animated movies, so she's just doing voice work.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which is hard work.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I've watched people do it, and it's tough.
Yeah.
Just to be able to say your lines, and then they just use them lines later and fill them in with other voices. Yeah, I've seen people do it, and I can't imagine doing it.
Yeah, it takes a talent to do that.
Yeah, because we do these episodes on the podcast. We're talking back and forth, but you go in for voice work, you're just reading your lines.
Yeah. Now, sometimes you might be working with other characters, but I know a lot of times you're doing theirs and then they put it together later.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on availability and when you can do it and when they can do it, I guess.
Yeah, but Judith was awesome at this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Land Before Time, man. I probably saw that 100 times.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah, my kids used to wear that out.
Yeah, not knowing the story behind
No,
all this.
not at all.
We're going to put all this together in just a few minutes, but yeah, she got a role in All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yeah, and at one point in this movie, there was a song that needed to be sang.
Yeah, and it was pretty rough.
It was.
And she couldn't do it. She
No.
just broke down.
I think the lyrics was getting to her, and she would just be crying uncontrollably every time she tried to sing it and get through it.
Yeah, so they took it away from her. They just pulled her aside. And Ruth Hanson, this was Judith's agent. She talked to Maria, her mom, and said, "You've got to put this kid in some counseling."
Yeah, they wanted to talk to her because they realized then how bad it was.
Yes. So they put her in to see a counselor, a psychiatrist.
That song, by the way, was "Soon You'll Come Home."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this psychologist, this child psychologist, identified several things in Judith. They identified severe molestation, physical and emotional abuse, and reported her findings to the Child Protective Services.
Yeah, said she had to, because she could tell right away that this is not good, not at all.
No. Especially them knowing that she didn't have any eyelashes. She pulled out her eyelashes out.
Yeah, them poor old cats.
Yeah, getting her whiskers pulled out.
Whew.
Can't imagine, man. But Judith, she would reportedly tell friends that she was afraid to go home. She'd say, "My daddy is miserable. My daddy is drunk every day, and I know he wants to kill my mommy."
God almighty.
Yeah.
9 years old.
Yeah. Can't even imagine, man. So on July the 28th of 1988, this was when the neighbor, Eunice Daly, she had heard what she thought was a gunshot at around 8:30 a.m., and it prompted her to call the police.
Mm-hmm.
And then she heard an explosion, and she went outside, and she said she could see flames coming out the windows of the Barsi home. Yeah. And she called the police, and they came over, and all the other authorities came over too. And inside the home was engulfed in flames.
Yes.
And when they got inside, they had found that Joseph Barsi had killed his family and himself.
Yeah, but he had killed him a couple of days before.
Yeah, he had. They found out that he was there after they'd been killed, just walking around the house like a ghost.
Yeah. She was found in her bed, in her little canopy bed, and been shot behind the ear, through the head.
And Maria, the mom, she had actually heard the shot and came out to confront Joseph and killed her.
Yep, and shot her dead where she stood.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he ended up, like I said, walking around the house for a couple of days, and then...
Yeah, he said people would call, and he would even talk on the phone or whatever, and then act like they were still there or around or out to work or whatever. He would make up stuff like they were still living.
Yeah.
And walk around the house like this. you know, it's bad. She would go to bed, you know, and she had a little pink TV he had bought her, and actually had bought the pink TV because he had had an incident where he about broke her fingers when he got mad at Judith, when he had gotten angry with her about something, about broke her fingers, so he felt bad and went and bought her a TV, and she would watch this little TV while she was going to sleep in her canopy bed. So when they come up, she was still laying like where the TV would, like she was watching TV. So hopefully she was sleeping when he'd done this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
But that July 25th of 88, Judith had actually had an appointment with Hanna-Barbera Productions.
Yeah, and she didn't show up.
Yeah. She was actually seen that morning out riding her bicycle, but she didn't make that appointment later that day with Hanna-Barbera.
Right.
No, she didn't. And Hanna-Barbera actually called and said they went into Santa Monica or somewhere else to do something.
Yeah.
But they were already dead.
Yeah. That's what Joseph told him.
Yeah.
Didn't he say they had taken a taxi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that very day, Joseph had shot and killed Maria in the hallway and Judith in the bedroom, like we said.
So she's laying in her canopy bed.
Yeah. So sometime after this phone call that Joseph had with Ruth Hansen, the agent, you know, talking about the Hanna-Barbera, he had soaked the bodies of his wife and Judith with gasoline and set them on fire.
Yeah, the inside of the house and their bodies, and then he went out in the garage with the gas can and shot himself.
Yeah.
I guess he set the house on fire and then went and shot himself.
Yeah. But you know, it's crazy. You know, the older daughter you had from a previous relationship and marriage, when she'd come over, she would see the gas cans. She'd talk about seeing the gas cans.
And that would bring flashbacks because he also told her during this first marriage the same story.
Yeah.
He was going to kill them and burn the house down, and every time she'd see them gas cans, she would just shudder.
Yeah.
Because she knew what he was thinking.
That's crazy, man.
It is. It's awful.
But on August the 9th of 1988, there were 6 pallbearers from Forest Lawn that carried the caskets. The first was a large white one, then the small white one of Judith to the gravesite.
It's so sad seeing that little bitty casket, man.
Oh, yeah. But there's a photo out there of them, the authorities there at the home, and they've got Judith wrapped in a sheet carrying her out.
And how small she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see another officer there with a Kleenex wiping his eyes.
Yeah. Well, you know, that'd be awful to go in and see that, man.
Yeah. But you know, the last movie that she did was All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yeah, and it came out well after her death.
Yeah. But they did release that movie, and actually Jaws came out after her death too. But All Dogs Go to Heaven, that was tough because, you know, her actor that she had with her, Burt Reynolds, her co-star, actually had to redo his lines for the end of that movie. He wanted to redo them.
Yeah. And then, man, it was so overwhelmed it took him 63 takes to get that last few minutes done.
Yeah.
And you listen to it, we'll add it to his. It is so sad.
All right, Dale, we're going to play this from the All Dogs Go to Heaven, that clip from the end of the movie.
Okay.
Charlie, you can come home now.
You said I'd...
Charlie, you gave your life for her. Come home.
What about Anne Marie?
Say goodbye, Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah. It's me. How you feeling, kid?
Okay, how are you?
Well, I come to say goodbye.
Where are you going?
Just on a little trip. Listen, Squeaker, I want you to do something for me, all right?
Uh-huh.
I want you to take care of Itchy. You know, just while I'm gone. You got a home now, and he doesn't have anybody.
Don't worry, Charlie, I will.
Great. Well, goodbye, little buddy.
Oh, Charlie, I'll miss you.
Yeah, I'll miss you too, Squeaker. Now, you go to sleep, huh?
Charlie, will I ever see you again?
Sure. Sure you will, kid. You know, goodbyes aren't forever.
Then, goodbye, Charlie. I love you?
Yeah. I love you too.
Charlie, come home.
All right. Yeah, I got tears every time I hear that,
Man, that's heavy.
Yeah.
Poor old Bert.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
But you know, Jaws the Revenge, The Land Before Time, which she played Ducky, and All Dogs Go to Heaven, where she played Anna Marie, were all released after her death. Yeah. Sad, man.
Yeah, and the reason I came up with doing her story, man, is the other night both my girls were over and they were talking about stuff, and I heard them talking about this case, which, you know, I probably had heard it, but I hadn't thought about it in a while. But they were talking about, you know, bad things and how it goes, and now realizing that she was already passed away while they were watching this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And it really, she's like, yeah, I just couldn't believe it. It's so sad, you know. And then finding out that this little girl's already dead, you know, it just it really affected them.
Yeah.
And they were talking about it. I was like, wow. And then got to looking into it, and I'm like, this is the saddest thing. And this whole story is sad. It just starts out sad and then just gets worse.
Yeah, and her dad controlling and didn't want her to do anything, thinking they were going to leave him.
Yeah. He's just a piece of it. That's all he is.
Yeah, but they don't know what happened to his body. They don't know where he's at or where he's buried. Could be in an unmarked grave, what I've read.
Anyway,
but yeah,
serves him right.
But Maria and Judith are both buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Hollywood Hills, California. So sad, man.
It is. It's pitiful.
Yeah, this little girl, she
could have really going places.
Her
man.
agent said every door was opening up for her.
Yeah.
After these last movies she did. Everybody was wanting her to be part of something.
She was so far advanced for her age. It's just crazy.
She was a natural.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, we encourage anybody, you know, to go to YouTube and find some of these clips of her in some of these commercials and the movies that she was in.
And her little roles, yeah.
Yeah, just a natural at it. But it's a sad, sad case of Judith Eva Barsi.
Yes.
Yeah, and her piece of crap father.
God almighty. It is sad, man. I hate it.
Yeah. It's a lot of difficulty in finding child actors for roles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have to maintain the integrity on set. You know, even the teachers for these kids on set, they have to like be an advocate for them.
Right.
If they see anything going on, they have to report it. But a lot of times these teachers, you know, they know that they're under a timeline to get things done, and there's money involved, and they sort of...
Well, basically the teachers know that they can be replaced before the actor can. So
can get a
if
teacher,
you don't give me what I want, we'll get somebody else.
We'll get a teacher in there that can get it done.
Right. We're under budget. We got to get this done. We're on timelines. You make it fit our schedule.
Yeah.
And it's bad.
And I think things have changed a little bit in the wake of Judith's death to get some of these changes in the movie industry for younger actors.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so too. But yeah, that is the sad, sad story of Judith Barsi, man.
Man, that's awful.
Yeah. I mean, I was just looking at some of these roles she had. I mean, she was in an episode of Remington Steele, Punky Brewster, Trapper John M.D., Cheers, Cagney and Lacey, The Love Boat. Like, she had that part in Jaws Revenge.
Yep.
She was on the Tracy Ullman Show, Saint Elsewhere, Growing Pains.
It's kind of easier to say what she wasn't in the 80s, huh?
Yeah, really. Very talented actress.
Yes.
All right, Dale, we're going to get out of here, man.
Whew, yeah, let's go.
We want everyone to be safe. Please be careful and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is
the Crack House Chronicles.